Oh, good evening. It's really lovely to be here with you all and to be celebrating two things, the release of this anthology and then the three books with Samson Lowe that we'll be celebrating later on. We're privileged to be part of this this evening. So my entry in the Book of Penteract is a constraint-based poem which comes from a bigger project. So I thought I'd just say a very quick word about that bigger project. It's a project that focuses on surfacing whiteness across a number of classical texts from the 19th and 20th centuries. These are texts where there's no explicit engagement with the colonial agenda or with whiteness, and yet whiteness features in each of these books and appears to be sort of inexplicable and almost a horrifying presence. And I'm interested in why that might be and in using constraint to bring that whiteness to the surface. And so the poem I'm reading tonight is called Surfacing the White Whale, and you won't be surprised now it comes from Moby Dick. It's based on Moby Dick, and it uses the following constraints. So the first part of the poem involved me in choosing 10 pages randomly, 10 because white whale has 10 letters. And for the first 9 verses, I chose words that began with W-H-L-A-L-E, the word whale, and then for the 10th one, I chose words that began with W-H-I-T-E, white, and again organised that into a separate poem. So this is Surfacing the White Whale. Lexicons and etymology, whale, arched with H, whoa, Anglo-Saxon wallow, a handkerchief embellished with hearts and whalefish. Whatsoever allusions to whales and Leviathan are authentic, appear in entertaining higgledy extracts which warm an altogether empty world with ancient authors. A wild wonder world, attending endless air, and about himself lodges everlasting horror. A vast, withered harpoon. Why wander any wide world's angle? Why attempt a whale, abominable without and arched within? At last, anchor, hope eternally wintry, windless here and watch, almost a white elephant, long loathed. Weariness with a wrinkled heart haunts Ahab. Enduring latitudes wake his endeavours. Whale hunter encounters world circle. Equatorial waters within, Levanter and Harmattan winds above. Already enveloping arguments, whalemen and all hands work hoisting and lowering windlass, heaving, away with whale books. Every end appears ever contracting. After Ahab had hidden himself, hinting at an ambiguous whale, why ashore here? At least land at adequate light. Life aboard a droop, any homeward bound ways lost, while Ahab heard wondrous empty associations, a white whale, a wind, and a lifting air. They touched hell, ironical its whelmings, instant ethereal thrill, together, heads erect, imperial, thrust, helmeted, white.
Reading next from the Book of Penteract, Kerr.
It's lovely to have such a big audience and to be reading with a few other people who've got work in the Book of Penteract. I'm going to be reading a constrained poem that is from my Hester Glock book, published last year called Nam Gal Sips Clark, and it's exploring the periodic table. So in this text, all the symbols of the periodic table appear in order. So H for hydrogen, He for helium, and so on, right to the end. And it's named after an element that was discovered as part of the research into nuclear weapons in America, which also takes its name from the god Prometheus. Prometheum. Hans Betha liberated a beacon of divine infernal Damgal Nuna. Quasi-particles, nuclides and quarks cascade, radioactive. Microspheres circumnavigate circumferences in Copernicus's Soyuz nacelle. Gadgets assembled by broken crowds. Superbombs disrupt sky. HZRG's rainbow at Livermore Lab. The watchmakers run cirrhosis. Slapdash image on CD. Tin snips hair's breadth tear. Helixes and xenobiotics band and lace Prometheus's hand. Equipment smashes nucleus. Wrongdoer's pot-bellied body has hourly liver appointment with Jay Bird. A glutton's stomach full of talons. Beware Osiris's crypt, haunted lich gate, brittle hip bone and bipolar Saturn's frugal rapacity. The paunch henpecked by Putnam Fellows with 10-centimetre thumbkins. Compare lesion fMRI by MD, no hexylresorcinol. Interferons on standby. Sergeant Dumbhead's maths. Femtoseconds. Intergalactic tachnodes. Weisenheimers. Flibbity gibbets. Jim crackery. Silver livers. Giblets. Crystallography. Thank you.
Reading next from the book of Penteract, Tale.
Hey, I'm Teo. It's amazing to be in an anthology alongside Susie and Chris, and thank you, Stephen, for organising tonight. So the first poem I'm going to be reading isn't just in the Penteract anthology, it is also going to be in my upcoming book of Penteract called The Ox House. It's called I. So we love constraints with Penteract Press, so this poem has a few constraints. So I should be able to see from the visual, like the printout. It's in the shape of the letter I. Every word begins with I. And every line has one less syllable than the last until we get to the midway point, and then the number of syllables improves. I, immeasurable I, instigates in intricacies innumerable, invisible implications. Impossible images illuminate icebergs. Iliad, idol, immortalized id, imposed itself. If indeed I impress, inspiration ignited, impaled in insinuated ideologies insist, impoverished imitation. Innumerable intricacies invoke implosion. I idle ideas. I'm going to read one more. This is a shorter one. It's called Seasons. It is mirrored both like visually and textually, so every word is like it's mirrored in the middle, if that makes any sense. Winter frosts, leaves knuckles into knotty fists, still barren branches of evergreens summer. Summer evergreens of branches barren still, fists knotty into knuckle leaves, frosts winter.